Hello everyone, I hope you had a great Monday. Today I'm going to share a bit of my gouache painting process with you as I work on a new painting today. I am going to paint a basil plant. I've received some really nice feedback on my tomato and summer squash paintings. So if you're interested in hearing a little commentary and seeing my painting process, then let's get started. So for this last painting of tomatoes, I had bought tomatoes at the farmer's market and I set them up as a still life and painted them. Unfortunately, I do not have any basil plants right now, so I am going to use some photographs, whatever, it's okay sometimes to use references. So I'm just gonna start by sketching out my composition. So I'm just gonna kind of add in some, just to make it look like nice and full and pretty. Pretty much ready to start painting. I don't like to draw too much detail. Just have a sense of what I need to get started. Yeah, cool. I have my palette here and I am going to be using a few, not too many, just a few different colors. So I have ultramarine. So yeah, this is gouache. I actually have never used gouache until maybe a year ago. I used it for the first time. I'd seen paintings that I thought looked really cool with gouache, and I also have some history of hearing about gouache in illustration classes when I was an undergraduate, but I didn't use it then. So I kind of want to just try it out, but I've never really like watched gouache tutorials or anything, so I just kind of like played around with it and experimented with it. I really like this size 6 brush. It's very nice. I also like using this like size 0 round brush. Mostly I've been using round brushes these days. I do have a few flat brushes. I also like using these, but I found that for these small paintings I've been working on, the round brushes are really nice. So I'm just gonna start by mixing some greens. So I'll go back to the story. During my undergraduate years, and I took an illustration class with this really amazing professor. He was in his 70s. He had always talked about how gouache was his preferred medium and how he just loved the consistency of it, and it reminded him of baby poop. I mean, to be honest, I don't really have much experience with baby poop. I didn't then, I still don't. I've probably only changed like a handful of diapers in my lifetime. I think the last diaper I changed was my nephew, and he's almost 8. I kind of understand what he's saying because I have changed, I don't know, maybe like 8 diapers in my life. It does have that thicker, little gooey consistency. And that's something I always think about when I'm painting with gouache. Yeah, maybe I should actually show you how I'm mixing my paints. I'm gonna try to move this over a little bit. There we go. I just kind of go with the flow and then, kind of fill in some bigger shapes. And I'll end up painting over them and adding some more layers. I really like working with cyan and cadmium yellow, as well as ultramarine, and gosh, what is this yellow? Brilliant yellow. Yeah, it's nice to have both because you want a range of vibrancy. So I am gonna do a little bit of this background so that I don't have to go over, so many times. Little problem is that this is way too orange. I just am not happy with this. Gonna have to really quickly try to make this less orange because it's just not okay. Not okay. All right, this is looking a lot better. This is like how I want. This is where I could actually come in and use my flat brush. Maybe like this brush would be nice. Try to like fix some of this. Oof. That was not looking good. Okay. A little thick. Kind of like when there's not like a super straight line, it's just kind of like, you know, it's like a nice little painterly curve. I think that always looks pretty nice, but like have it be nice and smooth. I'm gonna use a little water, but I don't want to use too much water because then paint kind of starts cracking a little bit. There we go. That's looking much better. One kind of annoying thing that happens sometimes is you'll get like little like brush hairs in your painting. Actually, I think this is my eyelash. Yeah, that was totally my eyelash, but it's all right. Yeah, I'm liking this. It's like orangey background. I'm gonna have some red over here. It's like a tablecloth and like a yellow kind of vase. So just to add a little contrast, you know, because I'm painting basil, it's mostly greens, but it's nice to have some complementary reds with it to help it stand out. I guess I'll talk a little bit about why I'm painting basil to begin with and what prompted me to become like a little obsessed with basil. So basically this summer, many people, I had a garden and it was very gratifying to just have plants and watch them grow and have delicious vegetables. So yeah, so I planted a bunch of basil and I was mainly eating it just like on tomato, basil, mozzarella salads, that sort of thing. But then over the 4th of July, I had the chance to visit my friend Allison. I had a few days off from my online master's classes and I hadn't seen any friends for like months, and so it was really exciting that I got to go visit her. And when I got to her house, I had brought a few vegetables from my garden, but it was mostly at that point, I think it was just some herbs like some basil, some dill, some lettuce. I think that's pretty much it. I didn't have any cucumbers yet. I didn't have any tomatoes. That was it. And then when I got there, I saw that Allison had these amazing, plentiful bunches of basil, and I all of a sudden felt really inadequate showing her the meager leaves that I had brought for the salad I was going to make. But Allison was really nice about it when I was like, is that from your garden? Because I definitely don't have that much basil, and yours is like huge and looks amazing, and mine was like all tiny, and I was really proud of it. And then all of a sudden, like, I was not proud of it. And Allison was like, no, I got this at the co-op. She told me she was going to make some pesto for a salad. And I'm like, how do you make pesto? I don't know why I didn't know how to make pesto because it's so easy. Allison taught me how to make it, and then I became obsessed with making it. It's so good. And I just like don't ever want to eat pesto from like store-bought pesto again, although I probably will. Anyway, Allison prompted that obsession. I've been making pesto almost once a week. It's so easy. All you do is, in a food processor, you put basil, walnuts, Parmesan cheese, olive oil, garlic. That's pretty much it. You like mix it together and it's delicious. Maybe a little salt and pepper, I'm not really sure. I don't know. Anyway, now I'm a little sad because I can't make pesto because now the summer's over, and I guess I could try to have some indoor basil plants. It's just that you need a lot of basil to make pesto. So a couple other reasons why I've been doing these paintings. One is that it's just felt really relaxing to either paint from life or, you know, paint from references, something just like really meditative and soothing, something like vegetables and herbs and fruits with like everything going on in the world. And also just after I finish my tasks for the day, it's like a way I can just relax. I've found it's been really comforting to work on these gouache paintings. So this is the point where I feel like I can just keep working on it forever, and then I'll just kind of like keep going around and just like adding more brush strokes. But really, there needs to come a time when you just decide that it's done. It can be really hard, and sometimes you overwork it and you're like, oh, should not have done that. So right now I'm just gonna put on some final touches. Really enjoying it, and it's getting kind of late. I'm getting hungry, so yeah, I should probably just finish, but I might add a little extra shading on this cup. Right now it's looking a little sad. I need a new brush. Maybe this. So there's a couple things I could do here. I could make this shading. So one thing I also learned when I was studying painting a lot as an undergrad was that you don't really need to use black paint. Otherwise it just makes your colors kind of muddy. And so most times when I'm painting like this, I actually avoid using black. And then I try to just focus on making some like kind of richer browns. So rather than a gray with black, it's kind of like a purplish gray. Well, this brush sucks. I should probably have not used this one, but oh well. Something like that should suffice. All right, so you can see that this is pretty much done. I mean, I could keep working on it forever, but I'm pretty happy with it. Nice little basil painting. If you watched this whole video, thank you for watching. Next time I will paint some blueberries, and I hope to see you then. Have a good night.